everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. Today we're going to be putting together these oversized letters, 3D letters, and they come from Lori Whitlock. They are available in Cricut Design Space for a fee. So it's not a free file, or you can purchase them from Lori individually or as a set of the letters and numbers. You can purchase them on her shop, shop.loriwhitlock.com. But you can also get them at in Cricut Design Space by searching for Lori Whitlock, and it's Lori, Lori, Whitlock, alphabet or letter. Just Lori Whitlock will work too. She has a lot of really great files in Cricut Design Space as well. So anyway, we've done these before, but they're fascinating to a lot of people because it's just, I've made these bigger, but really what's fun about them is that they're three-dimensional, meaning that they have a very, they have a side, they're not flat, you see. So they make a great decor item. So I've done these in the fall, and I've done like words like fall and boo. I did boo, and I've done them in the spring. I think I did lucky in the spring for St. Patrick's Day. So this, because it's now winter and January is coming and our snowy season here in New England is on its way, I thought I would do the word snow, and I've already completed the S and the O, and I wanted to show you how these go together. First is you're going to have to cut them out. Now, if you're going to do like I'm doing, which it's all of the same background, or the actual part that's a 3D is white, and then I changed the color of the letter to be just like a complementary bunch of colors that I found. I would suggest that when you're cutting these out, to save yourself frustration, cut them out separately, individually as words, and then you can pile each letter together with all of its files. Only because when you cut a bunch, you end up with a lot of these pieces, and it's really hard to figure out, even with the little marks that you use with your pen. It's still hard to figure out what goes with the N and what goes with the O and what goes with the W. So cut them all out. And definitely you need to, there's a lot of scoring that goes on in here. Using a scoring wheel or the scoring stylus, super important. And then also there, as I mentioned, there are these like marks. And these are done so you can line up each piece. So basically what you're going to do is you cut everything out, and you can affix the letters. You can affix the front of the letters on. Just put that aside. And you end up with a bunch of pieces like this. You're going to line them up, and you're going to match the dots. Connect the dots. So in this case, right, we've got one circle. So this is the one circle. We're going to connect that to the one that was marked as also having one O or circle. And it's super important, if you want your letters to stand up, it's super important that you glue it very carefully. And I always fold it back on itself like this. Whoops, don't mean to keep. Okay, so now we proceed. Now we've got the two O's, or the two dots. We're going to attach a little bit of glue. Not really too much glue that time. And again, I'm going to fold it over on itself like that, just to make sure I'm lining up all of these, the strip all together, because if it gets a little wonky, you're going to have a letter that doesn't want to stand up on its own, or it's a little wobbly because of the 3D nature of it. All right, and then the last one is the 3 circles. It's not the last one, but it's the last marked tab, okay? Again, we do that, we glue it, fold it back over on itself. All right, make sure it's all lined up. And then you end up with this strip, very long strip. This one, just make sure I go back. Very long strip. Okay. And then you're going to make the strip into a circle, right? Into a loop, or what do you call that? A loop? Why am I drawing a blank on what it's called? I don't even know. A strip of paper that you turn into like a round thing. A ring? Maybe a ring. Maybe that's it. Okay. So then you have this ring. It's all attached here. And you notice that there are tabs on either side of the letters, of the strip, so that you've got a whole big long tab, and you want to fold them inside into the inside. Okay. And it's okay to, you know, kind of use your fingers or whatever before you form the ring. You can do the folding, and just to kind of sharpen those foldings. Okay, so now we've got our big circle, ring circle. We're going to take our letter, and you can work with the front first, and we're going to just so you can get the idea of it, this mean line down, we're going to align it with our letter. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there just so you can see how this is going to come together. We won't glue the rest right away, but you always start with the longest or piece of the letter. And I always work on a flat surface. It's really helpful to work on a flat surface, although sometimes not great for demonstration, but I hope you can understand and appreciate why having a flat surface is good. So once you've got that one piece there, you're going to then, this is what I do, is I start to fold the letter in and make sure that I am getting it all lined up, the back, the middle part, the inside part. You see, before I start doing all the other glue, just simply because I want to kind of train the letter to be looking like I want it to be, and not have, you know, pieces that are sticking out or whatever. So you'll see that it kind of folds once you get going on it. It kind of folds pretty nicely. So there you go, right? And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to put glue on the inside pieces. And because I don't know why I do this, but I put the glue on just a couple pieces at a time, and I work around on a letter. So I'm going to do the bottom piece. Now this by the way is just simply cardstock that it's actually Cricut cardstock. I love Cricut cardstock, but if you're looking for cardstock and you're not somebody that normally cuts paper, I will recommend either Cricut on the Cricut website for cardstock. They don't have a whole lot of colors, sadly. So I would also recommend going to Michael's. Now, Michael's has those paper stacks that you can buy individual, or they also have their own brand of paper. It's called Recollections, and they do sell cardstock in these paper packs. They sell them in both 12 by 12, which is the standard size, or they also sell them in 8.5 by 11. I love the 8.5 by 11 just simply because I can pick up a pack of paper. It's usually like 50 sheets of paper. And for usually around $2 when it's on sale. I think the retail price is around $5, but they often go on sale. And so you can pick up quite a bit. And what's great is that they usually will, the main colors like black and white and craft brown, you can find just a pack of 50, but the other colors come, like the rainbowy colors come in like, I don't know, samplers, I guess. They're called samplers. And you can find some, like, for instance, at Christmas, they'll have red and green with, a couple other, maybe 2 kinds of red, 2 kinds of green. And then you'll see now that Christmas is over, you'll see a number of packs come out for the spring. Like they'll have one that is greens and one for Valentine's Day, which are pinks and reds. So it's a great way to expand your paper collection without spending an awful lot. Usually when you buy paper, you buy it in a pad, and they're generally $20, $19.99. And I never, ever buy paper at the retail price. It's just not in me, even though sometimes you get like 50 sheets, 48 sheets in one of those pads. I'm cheap, I guess, or frugal, whatever you want to call me, but I just don't buy it for that retail price. I wait for it to go on sale. And unfortunately, you're kind of stuck with, there's an awful lot of great patterns, but sometimes they give you an awful lot of stuff that you don't want to, like, I don't know, things like they put like strips and tags and what have you inside of the packs, and I just don't like all that stuff. And what ends up happening is I use only half of the sheets that are in those pads, unless of course I'm buying the Cricut paper, which I like the Cricut paper. It has fewer pieces in there, but none of them are like they're not filler. I don't know. Anybody that buys paper, I'd love to hear your perspective on that. But personally, I just don't, I don't like to buy those packs at retail price. If they're on sale, and oftentimes they are, then I'll go and pick up a bunch of pads. And I don't know what you guys do, but I have a lot of paper. I have a paper hoard. And what I do is I separate them all into seasons. And then I rotate them. So I'm getting ready to rotate out of my Christmas stuff and head into I have some winter, but I also then have like spring, early spring, February, things like that. And then we'll have the spring holidays, Easter and things like that. And then at the end of that season, I will bring on the summer stuff. And granted, my stash is bigger in the fall and in the winter, but still I've got some great paper that I've collected over the years that I just love to bring out and use them. It's sort of like an accent or an embellishment. I don't ever use it for the main bulk of my projects. Like for instance, in this case, this was from a paper pad. I think this was from a Michael's paper pad that was a hot buy that I got, like buy 2 and get 3 for free, which to me that's like, woo, I'll do that. I'll buy 5. And so that's how you kind of get to creating a hoard or a stash, a craft stash. I have a lot of craft stashes. So, okay, before we go on, or I actually started going on, I did all this side. I glued this entire side on there, and now I'm going and putting it on the back to create the 3D part of it. This part is a little harder because you don't have that leverage of a flat surface to make sure that that crease happens. You have to be a little more patient with yourself. It's possible that you could kind of get your finger in underneath there if you want, but so it's a little difficult. Just be patient with yourself, and it also helps to have the tabs sticking up a little bit more than maybe they were on the other side, just so that it can catch, the glue can catch. And notice here, what I'm doing is I'm making sure that it's all like lining up, because you don't want for it to not line up. And I want to show you where it didn't line up here on my S, and it sort of created like a lip, and it's not perfect or optimal or whatever. So it's still able to stand up okay, because that happened on the top, but still I don't like it when it's not perfect, or when it's not, so you have to deal with those feelings of, oh, I didn't do it right. But you know what, to be honest, everybody that sees Cricut Crafts, even if you think you messed it up, a lot of people like, it's not perfect. They often will say that in the groups, it's not perfect. And you know what? It's okay. It's not perfect. And you don't have to tell people of the mistakes that you made, because for the most part, people don't pay much attention to that. The only people that really would notice that stuff is other crafters. And to be honest, the good crafters, the people that have been crafting for a really, really long time, understand that there is a learning curve and there's a dilemma, and they're going to tell you, you know what, it's great. You've done a great job. And don't ever discount your work. I know when I first started crafting way, way back, I would give something to someone, and then it would immediately point out what was wrong with it. And most people, their response is, I didn't even notice that. I would never have noticed that. And I used to think, part of me thought, well, they're just being nice. But to be honest, people are so wowed by these crafts that I think we try to find fault with ourselves more so than other people will find fault with you. At least I do. I don't know if anybody else feels that way or not, but that's kind of how I am. So that is, I just finished up the N, and of course, look at me, I'm working on the W, but this is the N for our SNO. Isn't that great? And I'll start working on the W, and we'll get it all done. But that is how you put together these wonderful 3D letters from Lori Whitlock. And I'll put a link to her shop in the video description so that you can go there and check it out. But do also check it out in Cricut Design Space. Actually, I could probably put a link, a Cricut Design Space link in there, but which you can play around with, but when you go to cut it, you will have to pay for it. That I can do that. Let me do that, because then you can at least have a look at how they're laid out. Very simple, but this whole idea of it being 3D, really just so much fun. I love doing these. I've thought about, in addition, I've thought about just using the tops before as part of a banner, because I just love this font. It's like, I think it's called Varsity Font, but I'm not sure. But anyway, so that is how you make 3D letters with your Cricut and a bunch of cardstock, just a little bit of cardstock and a little bit of know-how, and that's how you do it. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Rita, and this is my channel, Miss Rita to the Rescue. I'm glad you came by. If you're not already a subscriber or a follower, please subscribe and like my videos, and then you'll be able to see more. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. Even though the holidays are over, we're still going to be working on a number of great things, including this whole winter village that's lit up. We're going to be doing that. We also have a calendar to show you and a very simple, elegant New Year's Eve or New Year card that you could be working on. I'm going to do that later on today, so you can be working on it tomorrow if you're not too hungover from all your New Year's festivities. It's not me, but I know a lot of people, they just want to do something basic, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to put that together, and then you can enjoy your day, your New Year's Day, quietly crafting with your coffee and your corgis like me, and put together some really fun things for you to play with. Thanks so much for joining me today. Happy New Year. Hope to see you all again really soon. And have a wonderful evening. Be safe and enjoy the turn of the decade to 2020. See you all soon.